And to continue our evening, we're going to have one more exciting contest happening. The elevator pitch contest that Brad mentioned earlier that we hold in the name of our late friend, John Blundell, who was the second president and CEO of Atlas Network and then a board member. John would tell Brad that he loved our elevator pitch competition. He'd say Liberty Forum was worth attending, if only for this moment. When you see so many top-notch young people from around the world, it gives us a glimpse of our movement's future. When John passed in 2014, we renamed the elevator pitch competition in his honor. And Brad started wearing the infamous fancy Guatemalan waistcoat, which he wears with a lot of pride because while this night is about our movement's future, it's also important to pay tribute to our past. Today's freedom movement stands on the shoulders of so many great people who have gone before us, and whose legacies we shall carry on, continuing to connect our movement's legendary past to those who provide its bright future. In that spirit, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 John Blundell Elevator Pitch Competition and introduce our 12 contestants who are dying a slow, painful death on the side of the stage here, who participated in the past 3 days in our rigorous Leader Lab program, one of our flagship leadership programs for rising leaders in their organizations, just one of the many great trainings offered through Atlas Network Academy. For those of you that are new to this competition, all of our Leader Lab participants were challenged to give their best elevator pitch, succinctly conveying the value proposition of their work as they might communicate it to a potential supporter in less than 60 seconds to a panel of judges. For those 41 participants, 12 were selected as finalists to present their pitches to a new set of judges. You. At the end of the pitches, you, the audience, will get to vote on the best elevator pitch. So please give each contestant your full attention, take notes, and cast your vote when the time comes. We will have the option to vote electronically or by paper ballot. And please only vote once. For today's competition, the presentation order is alphabetical by first name, and their photos are displayed up here for you to make it easy for taking notes and voting. We will award prizes for the top 3 contestants. Third place will receive $500, second place will receive $1,000, and the winner will be taking home $1,500 in grant prize money for their respective organizations. Please hold your applause until after the final contestant has gone, since this is a rapid sequence of presentations. So get your pen and paper ready to take some notes. Contestants, please be advised that you have 60 seconds. And if you're exceeding the 60-second time limit, I will chime you to stop. So please don't make me use that. So take some deep breaths. You all are ready, and everyone out here is really excited to hear what you have to say. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have Andrea Melcarney from Istituto Liberale in Italy. Andrea?
Good evening. This is a Borsalino. This hat perfectly represents the Italian entrepreneurial spirit of the 1960s, when Italy was still a capitalist and entrepreneurial country. After that period, bigger government, overtaxation, and overregulation began to choke all our entrepreneurs, threatening to make all the Italian products that we all love disappear forever. Just imagine a world not only without pizza and pasta, but without companies such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, Armani, Borsalino. Mamma mia, it would not be the same. But there is still hope for my country, and this hope is called Istituto Liberale, Italy's largest classical liberal think tank. Our goal in the coming years is to spread the values of free market and free enterprise in Italy, helping people understand the good that comes with them. I'm here to ask for your financial support and your expertise in order to reach our mission. So join Istituto Liberale and help us bring back the Dolce Vita again.
All right, our next contestant is Ben Leach from Speech First in the United States.
Imagine having a conversation about your views while someone's standing behind you. And every time you say something they disagree with, they put their hand over your mouth and prevent you from speaking. What would you do? You might stop speaking altogether due to that intimidation, or you might even begin to change what you're saying to avoid being silenced. Either of those outcomes is equally threatening to the free exchange of ideas and the freedom of speech. And that's exactly what's happening to thousands of students across the country as universities seek to implement policies that would change and restrict what a student can and cannot say. And Speech First exists to fight back. Since 2018, we have successfully been dismantling policies just like this at universities across the country, and with your financial support, we can do this at many more universities, ensuring that no student ever has to be afraid that while sharing their views, that a university is standing behind them trying to silence them. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ignace Bngura, Bruce Vaillant from Center for Development and Enterprises, Great Lakes in Burundi.
Imagine 2 seconds waking up every morning wondering that maybe this will be your last day you see your family, because you can be arrested or even worse, killed. Yes, killed just because you are selling your products in a marketplace where your government didn't decide you should be selling them. That is the case of 6 million of Burundi street traders. And that's why at TD Great Lakes, we have launched a project called It Is Time, Harageze, to value and legalize street trading in Burundi. And we are here to ask you to support us. We need $20,000 to value street trading in Burundi. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Devin Lashley from the Fraser Institute in Canada.
What if I told you there was a group of people who, given the right tools, could establish a wonderful foundation for our prosperity here in Canada? Now, who holds that power? That's our hardworking Canadian teachers. Sadly, these teachers lack the resources to provide an economic freedom education in their classrooms. Fortunately, at the Fraser Institute, we offer teachers nationwide the opportunity to join us at our teacher workshops and our professional development opportunities, both online and in person. We share this wonderful message with these teachers to help them work with our students to understand economic freedom. Each year, we reach 500 teachers, which then extends to 50,000 students. So with all of your support and with all of the wonderful generosity, we are able to offer these programs for free. So we ask you today if you could share with us in the Prosperity in Canada and support the Fraser Institute's teacher workshops. Thank you.
Next, we have Hannah Downey from the Property Environment Research Council in the United States.
I'm an environmentalist, and chances are you are too. We all want fresh air, clean water, healthy wildlife, but instead of dumping cans of soup on paintings or chaining ourselves to trees, My colleagues and I at the Property and Environment Research Center envision a world where the environment is sustained through voluntary cooperative conservation. Through approaches like directly paying ranchers to provide wildlife habitat in migration corridors, repealing red tape to reduce catastrophic wildfires, and using trade to allocate and conserve water in times of drought, PERC is championing an environmental movement based in property rights, markets, and incentives. But we can't do this alone. So will you join me to empower, not impose, conservation? Thank you.
Our next contestant is Juan David Garcia from Libertank in Colombia.
Unfortunately, private business companies in Colombia have a worse and a worse image, and that's why we want to have a better and a better image about our companies. We at Libertank enjoy the support of the organizations that are with us, supporting private business companies in our campaign, our company. Our company is Por Mi Empresa, a campaign that want to join all the companies around the world and in Colombia to be better with us. Thank you.
Next up is Matthew Bowles from the Institute of Economic Affairs in the United Kingdom.
Good evening. We in the UK have had a pretty tough time of late. We welcomed a seemingly libertarian Prime Minister, Liz Truss. She said a lot of good things, but ultimately failed to deliver. The new government, just a bunch of socialists. We need to target the next generation. The current briefers and staffers who are creating solutions to important policy issues. With £50,000, we can create an up-to-date database and a series of educational events to nurture and educate that next generation. With your money, we can create real change. We need a far more attractive, far more prosperous, and ultimately a higher growth United Kingdom. Thank you very much.
Our next contestant is Maximiliano Duarte from Fundación Piensa in Chile.
Imagine hearing on the news that your house will be expropriated and returned to self-defined descendants of ancient tribe that lived there centuries ago, that your children will be forced to attend just public schools or health centers, or that the Senate will be eliminated. Sound dystopian, right? But this is just a small sample of the Constitution we reject in the last referendum on September 4th. And our institution remains standing because of organizations such as Fundación Piensa that reach 2 million people in an extraordinary campaign that contribute to 63% of Chileans rejecting an extremely illiberal proposal. Next year, a new process begins in Chile, and we need your contribution to defend our liberties and to influence in the drafting of the new Constitution. There is a populist wave threatening Latin America, and we all in this room know it, right? And if we don't face it together and stop it in one of the freest countries in the world, then an entire continent will be in serious danger. Thank you.
Please welcome up next, Natalia Brozonik from Libera, Bolivia.
That is how your heart beats when you live in normal geographical conditions. And that is how your heart beats when you live in the highest city of the world. It is scientifically proven that the heart of the people who live in El Alto city is a few centimeters larger than ours. And those people with those big hearts are the ones who, despite all the geographical difficulties and all the regulations from the government, found business opportunities where no one else saw them. And they have proven that free market works, because they didn't need anyone to tell them what to do. They just needed creativity and search for freedom to find ways to live and sell well. And that's how they created one of the largest fairs in Bolivia and in Latin America. With your financial support, Libera Bolivia can keep working on a documentary that talks about how economic freedom relieved many people out of poverty, and also that shows the admiration for those big hearts and its people, people who made the impossible possible. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Our next contestant is Rozzie Ginsburg from the Ayn Rand Center, UK, in the United Kingdom.
Here's a not-so-fun fact. 30% of murderers on television shows are business people, more than any other group. Why? Everywhere you look around you, you see the results of people having put their minds to solving problems and making lives better. From the building we're in and the energy that lights up this room and the city outside, to the trains, planes, and cars that brought us all here, yet the business people and entrepreneurs responsible for these life-enhancing innovations are despised for them. They're vilified in the media, in academia, by politicians, by Hollywood. At the Ayn Rand Center UK, we like it when something improves our lives, and we know that you do too. With 50,000 of your dollars, we can create a series of videos, create and distribute a series of videos, defending the people and industries who are hated for doing good. And as an added nod to Hollywood, the series of videos will be presented by television actor Mark Pellegrino. So join us in standing up for the atlases of the world like nobody else will.
Next, we will hear from Salpi Ozgor from Students for Liberty.
Have you ever felt like this is not the world you want to live in? I know I did. And in fact, I know that many of us do. Yet, so few take action to make this world a place we all want to live in. We call them entrepreneurs. From government corruption to extreme poverty, there are hundreds of problems in the world waiting to be addressed. And my mission at Students for Liberty is to equip and support the young people who are willing to take responsibility for those problems. Our project, Entrepreneurship Hub, will provide training, mentoring, and donor outreach support to our young volunteers worldwide. We want to ensure that there are better days ahead. And with over 3,000 volunteers from 6 different continents, we are more than capable. Together, we can make what's good better and what's better the best. Invest in Entrepreneurship Hub, and let's have a future and a world we all want to live in. Thank you.
Our final contestant is Susanna Barnes from the Mercatus Center at George Mason University in the United States.
My best friend Sid is from Keeney-Bunkport, Maine. She loves it there. She dreams of owning a home, raising her family, and living her life there. But restrictive zoning codes have made home ownership a pipe dream for so many of us. For many of the Gen Z and millennial classes, government policy is what stands in the way of us accomplishing the dream of home ownership. But the Mercatus Center has the solution. If we liberalize zoning so that builders can build and we let supply meet demand, we can bring prices down. We already see this in action in places like Auburn, Maine, where the liberalization of their zoning code already added 800 new apartments to their community. And they're not done yet. They continue to engage with Mercatus scholars to learn more about how to make housing more affordable. With your donation of $15,000, we can continue to bring these ideas to Maine and make home ownership a reality for people like Sid. Thank you.
All right, was that not amazing? Give them some love. Okay, everyone, so now here it is. It's time for you to cast your vote. Let's find out who the winners are for our 2022 John Blundell Elevator Pitch Competition. As I call your name, please come up and join Alex and I on stage, and we'll get a little photo with you. So coming in third place and receiving a $500 grant for this year's John Blundell elevator pitch competition is Hannah Downey from the Property Environment Research Council in the United States. Hannah? So I'll have you come over here and do a photo op. Our runner-up and recipient of a $1,000 grant in this year's John Blundell elevator pitch competition is Bngura, Bruce Valiant, CDE Great Lakes, Burundi. Sorry, Bruce, I got it right the first time. And now, the moment we've been waiting for, the winner of the 2022 John Blundell elevator pitch competition and recipient of a $1,500 prize is, there you go, Natalia Brozonik, Libera, Bolivia. Congratulations to all of you. It was a great competition. And thank you all again for such impressive pitches all the way across the board. Way to go.